the intersection of psychology and shared mobility. I think it's just so fascinating that we have this concept of sharing, which is so humanistic in a ways, but it's so incredibly complex when we think of where people are located, how they're involved, all sorts of different factors that we discussed in this. So it really, I don't know if it's really a particular aha moment, but just I think maybe for me in my work, thinking about reducing barriers for people and creating incentives and really kind of triggering or reflecting on the psychology of shared mobility in whatever context it is. Really starting to think a lot more about that. What is the user experience? What do they want? Where do they want it? Things like this.
There was a slide on the mobility as a service landscape, and it was all the different providers and how they, integrated with operators or standing alone. And I was unaware of so many of these, and I found that just super useful as we look at technology a lot in rural areas as part of our work. So it's great to see that mapped out, and overall, like really useful course in general.
I think my peak was Sandra's presentation and learning more about the integration and the levels of integration and the case studies. I found like a really helpful way of identifying each of those different options.
Kind of feels like we're on the cusp of a huge global revolution on this kind of, in the sector. So it was energizing for me as someone who works in the space to see that, it is actually something that is going to go global. I'm convinced of it now.
Help show me just the amount of points along a user journey where a potential user of shared mobility can be lost along the way, whether that's before sign up, motivational stuff, or bad user experience at any point. I found that really interesting.
I really enjoyed the ecosystem approach that sort of brought together the different perspectives of looking at these shared mobility systems. I think that's really useful and a powerful framing.
The amount of models and examples that were shared were very helpful in the sense of we understand more or less how the systems work, but then putting names or like dots on top of the I's